Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again. Today, for the most part, at least in my area, because I know several places in the country already have this, is the first day of school. I cannot tell you how significant of a day it always is. I mean, I am 100% convinced that every student going back to school today is experiencing a whirlwind of emotions. You know, they're sad that summer's over. They're happy they get to see their friends at school again. They're worried about the potential homework they're probably going to get, or possibly any other commitments they have after school. I mean, when you think about it, you got to go back to a routine that, you know, you've all but forgotten about, you know, at the end of, well, in my area's case, June. So, there's a lot to pack in. So, before I get into what I want to talk about, obviously do my low and high act of kindness, you know what my low is that I feel for those people that are experiencing a lot of emotions today. Not just students, but teachers as well. I have a bunch of friends who are teachers, which is a fact that I'll talk more on in a minute. And I can tell you, they're dealing with a lot emotionally as well. You know, they're sad. I mean, believe me, they're sad. They're sad that summer's over too. They're sad. They're happy that, you know, they get to shape and mold the minds of the youth, as it were. They're, you know, worried about other stuff as well, like commitments outside of school and how school will have to affect their daily routine. Again, I feel for you, because once upon a time, that was me. But, you know, I pressed on and look where I am now. Sorry. I can't notice this is actually kind of off-center. There we go. So, my high would be that so far, I've seen a lot of people, like, because this was never a thing back in my day. Holy cow, am I old? Not saying that. But back in my day, you know, we never really had the whole, like, take a photo of kids on the first day of school, only to then much later take their photo on the last day of school. I never did any of that. You know, we just got up and got dressed, cleaned up, got dressed, breakfast, and went to school. So it really is nice to see that there are people out there that are looking at the first day of school with a lot of optimism. It is. You know, I wish they had stuff like that back when I was a kid. Because maybe my heart would have been racing so much on the first day of school as it used to when I was little. What's my act of kindness? I held the door for someone. That was my act of kindness. Okay. Enough with all the pleasantries. Now, every year I do this video, I always try and, you know, sort of lighten the emotional burden that many people have on today. And again, people are going through a lot. It's actually pretty crazy how much they're going through. And, you know, as a dumb kid, that at the time, you know, I for sure never did any, well, not none of the things I'm going to say here, but, you know, you really wouldn't have found me doing much of that, save for a few things. So, if I knew then what I knew now, I mean, obviously there are better study habits I would have. I'd be more, wanting to learn more. Here's the thing. I never really liked to read when I was a kid. So, any reading assignments, pass. So, of the things that I would like to say in terms of giving advice, not just, it does mostly pertain to students, but some teachers could probably apply some of this as well. The big thing is, listen, it's the first day of school. I'm sure you're probably feeling a whole lot of emotions, but as I mentioned earlier, everybody's feeling that way. You're not alone. And for many students, they're probably going from elementary school to intermediate school, 5th, 6th grade. Or they're going into middle school or even high school. Like your first day at a new school, that's a big deal. But guess what? You're not the only one experiencing this. Lots of people in your class are. It's normal. So my first advice is look for people that you're from. Basically, look for your friends. Try and plan ways to get together, if at all, during the school day, or if not, wait until after school. Because even with one person close by, it really does make a difference how much better you feel when you know that, you have this one person that you've known for years, like sitting right next to you at times. So keep an eye out for who you know and, who you feel comfortable around. Because that's when you can relax. As someone who values promptness, I feel it's rather redundant of me, of all people, to say, get to all of your classes on time. Okay? Like, if you know the layout of your school, and most schools nowadays are really great about giving you a map, but if you are, plan accordingly. Make sure, if you have one class that's in one side of the building and you have another class that's on the far other side of the building, plan accordingly. Plan your route. What are you going to do? There are times where you're going to be in such a hurry, you probably won't be able to talk to anyone. Don't worry about that. It's just a few minutes and you go to your class and get on with your day. That's all you can do. This is actually a new thing I want to add to my yearly back to school address. And that's because it never really occurred to me until just now, well, not now, but literally before I press record, that nowadays children are getting younger and younger to be able to own a cell phone. There are kids that are under the age of 10 that have one. And that's not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the primary objective of having a cell phone is so you have the ability to make a phone call to someone important. Like, if you're a little kid, you're probably going to want to call your mom and dad. I can tell you back when I was in Horseheads, when cell phones were really starting to be popular, Horseheads had a really strong opinion about cell phones, as in, under no circumstances do you have them out. If for whatever reason you have your cell phone out, not only will they take your phone away, but they'll take it to the principal's office, and you probably get your phone at the end of the day. No, you had to somehow get home, talk to your mom and dad, say, hey, listen, mom and dad, I got my cell phone taken away, and your parents had to get your cell phone. Oh, trust me, Horseheads didn't mess around. Only one time did that ever happen to me. And here's the kicker. I wasn't using my cell phone to call anyone or text anyone. I was simply using it to look at the clock. because I want to know what time it was. Teacher saw that, took the phone right away. Luckily, though, I didn't have to tell my parents that my phone got taken away because, the Horsehead's office was for one thing, I didn't know, I forgot I told them I didn't know I was supposed to talk to my parents, but really I forgot. But also, listen, if you're making a phone call, that's one thing. Just simply looking at the clock, knowing you're only going to put your cell phone away not 2 seconds later, they're okay with that. But still, Horseheads especially has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to cell phones. So if you have one, just be careful. Make sure that if for whatever reason you have your phone out, don't let any teacher see it. And speaking of teachers, this is the one thing I advocate most every year I do this. And that is, if you have any questions at all about anything, about your schedule works or something you didn't understand in class, or if you just want someone to talk to, go to your teachers. Let me tell you something. I said earlier, I have a bunch of friends who are teachers. And I can tell you that they love their job. And the vast majority of things or times I'll ask, what about your job do you like the most? They will tell me that they love being able to help their students. They're supposed to do that. That's their job. They live for that. That I can tell you, some of the greatest conversations I had in my tenure as a student, anywhere I went, just shoot and skeet with the teacher. My homeroom teacher especially, if you had like a free period and college basketball was on, we'd have college basketball games on. So you just watch their talk college basketball. It was really cool. Some teachers are actually very welcoming if they don't have any. If you're essentially a senior with a study hall period and you got nowhere to go, just hang out in the classroom. Do that. And I can tell you, that was great. Loved it. That was what I live for, man. As stressful as school can be, you'd be surprised how many things can alleviate your stress if you know where to go or what to do. And again, if you want advice on that, go to your teachers. Believe me, seriously, any of my friends who are teachers will tell me they love it when they talk to their students and help them. They love it. That's why they wake up in the morning to do what they do. That's why they set out to be teachers in the first place. So when I tell you that you can go to your teacher for anything, I'm serious. Sadly, I was an idiot when I was a kid, so I never really did much of asking anything in the realm of advice. But to hang out and talk to? Oh yeah, that was great. Loved doing that. It was awesome. And, here's the thing. Well, I'm sure I could probably say this even now, but I was blessed at the time to have the vast majority of my teachers be pretty great. And I can still look fondly on any of the things they taught me and be like, you know what? They were really cool. I'm sure, actually, you know what? I mentioned cell phones and, social media, which, I said the primary reason to have a cell phone is to make important phone calls, but social media would probably say otherwise. But it's probably even better now. I don't know if teachers actually share their phone number information with their students, but you can definitely talk to them, during the day. I know that's a thing. In fact, I have friends who are teachers who are friends with some of my other friends who are not teachers but are parents to the students that those very teachers are teaching, which is crazy. But hey, it works, and it actually sets a solid foundation for making your kid feel comfortable. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes when a teacher gives you homework and you gotta do it, that kind of bums you out. But you know what? If you get your homework done, you feel better for it. But that's the way I thought back in the day. Like, get your homework done, then you can relax. I mean, more often than not, that was the case for me, and it worked. So yeah. That's about all the advice I got. It's first day of school, brand new experience for many, many people, especially if you're going into a new building. But take things one day at a time, one class at a time. I'm sure as long as you know what to do and do your work, you're going to be fine. And you know what? Especially as students get older and they find their interest, maybe they'll run into other students with the same interests. That happens. Honestly, social media's done a lot of good, but also a lot of bad for, student life. Because on the one hand, yeah, bullying is always going to be a thing, and cyberbullying is always pretty bad, even though I can't believe that's still a thing. But it's also made people a lot more open and friendly. And you wind up meeting good people because of it. So, be careful with your cell phones. Be careful using social media. Get to your classes on time. Do your work. And if nothing else, go to your teachers for help. That is the one thing I will advocate most above all else. And believe me, again, your teachers live for when they help students. But that's just what I know. I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching Joe Vanille. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, folks. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or channel, we're here to let you know. Always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.